Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by Carbonite.
Today on Variant, I review the Wolverine. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than Netflix needs to put the 80s Ninja Turtles cartoon on instant streaming. I'm your host, Arris Quinones. Wolverine just came out this past weekend, and like I've been doing with all summer superhero films this summer, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it and see how it compares to other X-Men based films. My review will contain spoilers, that way I can really get into the movie and I don't have to beat around the bush. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want anything spoiled, you have been warned. With that out of the way though, let's talk about some Wolverine. Getting right into it, not wasting any time, because I want to give you guys as much content as possible, because you deserve it. You're good people. I really enjoyed the movie. It took its liberties with the source material, as most comic book movies do, but overall, I really enjoyed it. It pissed all over and around the tragedy that was X-Men Origins Wolverine from several years back. The movie takes place after the events of the X-Men trilogy and obviously solely follows Wolverine. The film is loosely based on arguably one of the best Wolverine story arcs of all time, simply titled Wolverine, which is a 4-issue miniseries by Chris Claremont and Frank Miller, which if you haven't read it, read it because it's amazing. Better than the movie. The movie was good, don't get me wrong, but we all know the actual comics are always better than the movies. I mean, it's the only reason the movies exist in the first place. A lot of people are saying they didn't like this movie, which is fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but as for me, I thought the movie did a great job capturing Wolverine's essence, as he was just a complete bamf and would do whatever it takes to get the answer he needed, like for instance throwing this guy off a balcony. So awesome. I think this movie and X2 did the best job so far capturing Wolverine's savage BA personality. Although to really capture the true essence from the comics that's bloody and super violent, they would have to make a rated R Wolverine movie, which is probably never gonna happen because business-wise, film studios make more money with PG-13 ratings. And as we all know, Hollywood is all about making that cash, those dirty bastards. Going back to what I just said a minute ago, this movie did take its liberties from its comic roots. Keep in mind, I'm probably about to butcher some names here, because even when reading their names in the comics, I was like, I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure that's how you say it, but that's how I'm gonna say it. For instance, what most notably stuck out to me was in the movie, Yoshida's was the Silver Samurai, when in the comics, the Silver Samurai was Kanishio Harada, who in the movie was Mariko's former love interest, which is weird because in the comics, Harada and Mariko are half brother and sister. So for me, being used to them being related, I was like, ew, that's nasty, it's incest, and that's gross. But yeah, they changed that and went the complete opposite direction with it. And speaking of Silver Samurai, he looked awesome in the movie. They went a bit of a different route with him, as I said, like him being a different person and not having mutant powers like he does in the comics. And his suit felt very Ironmonger-esque from the first Iron Man movie, being like a 10-foot tall mecha suit where there's a guy inside piloting it, instead of it just being a guy in cool Japanese armor like we're used to. But nonetheless, it was still cool. I also liked Viper, the way they used her mutant powers and showed them, I thought was pretty cool. I mean, she was nothing amazing, but nonetheless, she served her purpose. And of course, Hugh Jackman was nothing less than amazing as Wolverine. I mean, he's like Robert Downey Jr. in the sense where I could never see anyone else playing Tony Stark or Iron Man. I could never see anyone else playing Wolverine other than Hugh Jackman. I think most will agree when I say he has defined the character for the big screen and just downright looks amazing as Wolverine. And not to mention, he's 44 years old and is more ripped and jacked now than he was when he first started playing Wolverine, which is insane. It's like he has Benjamin Button disease. He just keeps getting more rocked the older he gets. I hope I'm in half as good a shape as him when I'm his age. Heck, I wish I was in half as good a shape as him right now. The action and fight scenes in the movie were also great, especially the train scene. It was nuts. So you'll definitely get your money's worth as far as cool action and fight scenes go. And as I said earlier, the movie takes place after the events of the X-Men trilogy, so we got to see how Wolverine is dealing with him having killed Jean at the end of X-Men The Last Stand, since she was going all Dark Phoenix on everyone. Throughout the movie, he keeps having nightmares with her in them, so I just like seeing Jean in the movie, as it made all the X-Men movies feel even more connected together. Then you probably have one of my favorite parts of the movie, the end credit scene, which showed Wolverine watching a Trask Industries ad on a TV at the airport, which we all know from the past Comic-Con that Trask Industries is going to be responsible for creating the Sentinels in Bryan Singer's X-Men Days of Future Past, as you can see from these photos from Comic-Con. Then you have Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart show up as Magneto and Professor X. So pretty much this whole scene was just a mini setup and tie-in for X-Men Days of Future Past, which I'm super excited about. It's just going to be fun to see the original X-Men cast all back together on the big screen once again. As for dislikes, I really don't have any for this movie. I'm not saying the movie was flawless by any means. I'm sure I could pick things out I didn't like if I really wanted to, but there was nothing majorly horrible, I thought, like there was in Iron Man 3. And spoiler for Iron Man 3, I'm gonna give something away here. The Mandarin wasn't even the freaking Mandarin, taking one of Iron Man's greatest villains and being like, psych, he's not real. That was just a horrible idea. But yeah, the Wolverine was fun and kept me entertained the whole time. Definitely not the best superhero movie ever made by any means, but nonetheless, I thought it was good. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a solid 8. Carbonite protects your pictures and other files from a computer crash, fire, theft, and when you accidentally delete a file by automatically and continually backing up your files and keeping them securely offsite. You'll never have to remember to back up again. Whether you have 1 or 2 computers at home or several computers at your small business, Carbonite is the better backup plan. Over 1 million customers trust Carbonite to protect their home and small business computer files with plans starting at just $59 a year. Start your free trial at Carbonite.com with the offer code VARIANT and you'll get 2 bonus months if you decide to buy. That's Carbonite.com and the offer code for 2 bonus months is VARIANT. So for those of you who don't know, we were very close to getting a Superman movie directed by Tim Burton titled Superman Lives in the 90s, but thank holy baby Jesus, that movie did not get made. Now some of you are like, why wouldn't you want that? He did a great job with Batman and Batman Returns, and I'll give you that, but he was not going to do a good job with this Superman movie, as the script and choice of actor for Superman was horrible. I'm not even going to tell you who he was going to get to play Superman, I'm just going to show you. And your eyes do not deceive you, friends. That is in fact Nicolas Cage in an early mock-up of a crappy Superman costume, which apparently at first they wanted to look all metallic, metal, and alien, shiny, weird, like I don't even know. But even him in the final design that looks more normal, just no. All I see is Nicolas Cage, nothing else. I just wouldn't be able to get past the fact that it's Nicolas Cage in a Superman costume. I like Nicolas Cage as an actor and all, but as Superman, heck no. He just doesn't fit the part of Superman at all. Again, good actor, but for the role of Superman, no. Just no. And for the script, man, was it a train wreck of epic proportions. I've read most of it online and I want my 30 or so minutes back. Just search the Superman Live script on Google if you're ever like, you know what? I'm really in the mood to read some crap. Perfect. First up, we have Uncanny X-Men issue 9. One mutant learns that once you leave the X-Men, the real world can be a punishing place. Next, we have Guardians of the Galaxy issue 5. Spinning out of the dramatic conclusion of Age of Ultron, dimensions collide and heaven's most fearsome angel pushes the Guardians back on their heels. Now we have Batman Annual issue 2. It's a special 0-year tie-in. Bruce Wayne's first year as the Dark Knight has just barely begun, and already dangerous elements are mixing together, leading Bruce to his final destiny. Next up is Detective Comics Annual 2. It's a terrible, dangerous time to be a cop in Gotham City at a time when police are being targeted for assassination. Gotham's finest are also facing a threat from within as a shape-changing identity thief threatens Gotham PD. Here we have The Wake issue 3. If you love sci-fi, suspense, and sea monsters, this book was literally made for you. And it's only 3 issues in, so it'd be easy to catch up. Finally, we have 5 Ghosts, The Haunting of Fabian Gray, issue 5. This was supposed to be the last issue for this comic miniseries, but the comic is doing so well, they've turned it into an ongoing title. It has an Indiana Jones type feel with action, adventure, mystery, and all-around fun. Definitely one of the best new titles of the year. Well, that brings another episode of Variant to a close, but as always, you can keep up with the show throughout the week on our Variant Facebook page, as well as all things comics. You can also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Arris_Quinones, but I really must leave you guys, but don't be sad. I'll see you guys next week when I come back to talk about all things comics. I've been doing with all summer superhero films this summer. Let's talk about good old wall crawler. Dang it. Wall crawler?
Wrong movie, Arris.
Yeah.